Well. We are here streaming live on YouTube because we thought Twitter Spaces was going to be down for a while. Looks like Elon got into it with some journalists and rage quitted and took it down for a while. But we're still here on Twitter Spaces as well, live. It got put back up like the next day. So if you're not following us, follow us everywhere at Jazzketball, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, our main. We're really everywhere you can be found, even on the podcast platform. This was not something that I think any of us expected. Probably easily could have been the worst game of the season for the Jazz. We don't really get blown out. As you can see on the screen, 97-123. I went to Eagle Mountain with my wife for a family Christmas party, and so I really watched the first half on my iPhone while trying to drive, so didn't, could glance down when I had the chance. But yeah, didn't get to watch it in depth. I know at the half we were down by 9 points. Lauri gets an and one and hits the free throw to put us up. Really didn't feel like we were playing terribly bad, but I think they were playing good. I really think that they were playing good. Oh, hang on, my computer is tripping out. I don't know if I usually record this on GarageBand, but I don't know if I can stream with this new software that I downloaded and do that. We're going to have to take our chances on this one. Good thing we lost by 20. It's not a super important episode, but if you're listening, the obvious thing, looking at the box score, do you want to use? No, don't use. There we go. Okay, it's working. So from the box score, it just looks like we totally got out-rebounded. Rebounds, we had 35 to their 59. So, yeah, I'd say so. I was looking also from those rebounds and turnovers. There were second chance points that they totally dominated on. The fast break points they dominated on. Just something that we didn't really. It's been something that hasn't been a strength of ours the entire season, but I think it was really exposed tonight. Usually we outshoot teams from the 3-point line, and I believe they outshot us from the 3-point line. They shot really well. We attempted 47 3-pointers and made 16, so shot 34%. Usually we're quite a bit higher than that, and they shoot almost 50%. Dang. 50%, 47% from the 3-point line. Let me move my little thing so you guys watching on YouTube can see this better. I've got to get used to this. There we go. Put me down there in that little bitty corner. So, yeah, that's huge. And then from the field, they shoot 53%. We shoot 45%. The thing that I feel like really started the game off terribly is Bobby Portis just came out and had 10, 12 points in the first quarter. He ended with 22, but I've talked about how many times Vanderbilt is a terrible defender. Obviously, it's not all on him, but he's the guy that was guarding Bobby Portis. There were other guys. Even Talen Horton-Tucker got in there. I felt like he did a better job against Portis. Walker Kessler guarding him at times. Olynyk guarding him. I feel like Vanderbilt was the worst defender. Vanderbilt, oh my gosh. His plus-minus isn't the worst on the team, but 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 1 from the 3, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover. That may be his worst outing. And then I feel like I'm always high on Walker Kessler, but I mean, look at this. 2 for 2, scored 4 points. He only got 14 minutes, but I feel like they game planned and really had a good game plan as far as pulling Walker Kessler out of the middle. He only had 3 rebounds. I mean, Vanderbilt out-rebounds him. 1 block. They exposed Walker Kessler tonight, and that I think needs to happen for him to learn. I kind of wish that Coach would have left him in more. It's interesting to me how Coach rotates Kessler in, because it was almost like when Lopez came in or out, it was the opposite for Walker Kessler. I don't really understand that. And maybe it's a matchup advantage that Coach is trying to get, but it doesn't seem like it worked, especially tonight. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I thought he had a great first half. Actually, a really great game. Shot 75% from field, 50% from the three-point line. The assists, man. He had 5 assists. He's just one that is really coming into his own, and I don't think even when we started the season that he would have been one that we felt is a reliable option. But I really feel like he defensively can handle his own. He gets steals. Let me see. Didn't get any steals tonight. 3 turnovers. Had a plus-minus a -14. This game's such a blowout that the plus-minus really is blown out of proportion. It's almost not even worth looking at with all these guys. Finally, we saw Balmero, and Kevin, I'm going to get to you just a second, but these guys don't have Giannis Antetokounmpo. They don't have what's the other guy? Middleton. So I don't think it was a crucial game for us to win. Obviously, this is a game that you kind of expect to lose, whether it be a blowout or a close game. You come off overtime. You win 2 great games against New Orleans. You got to travel to Milwaukee. It happens. These type of losses happen. I don't think it's something to get too up in arms about, but definitely we see the weaknesses of this team were exposed tonight, for sure. Kevin, I'm going to turn it over to you. I think that you can just go ahead.
Yeah, I think you made a lot of really good points. I don't think we played bad tonight. I think we just were down to earth. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think what it is we were just, in order for us to win games like this, we have to play out of our mind. When we beat New Orleans, we shot 43% from the 3 as a team. We shot 50% from the field. Like, we out-rebounded them, which is, honestly, if you look at our rebounding stats, we don't normally out-rebound a team.
Yeah.
We get out-rebounded most games that we play. So, as a general rule, for us to win games like this, or us to win games like against really good teams like New Orleans, we just have to play above. I don't want to say above our ability, because obviously we show that we can play there. So I don't want to say that we're playing above ourselves, because that is a level we can play. But we have to bring our A game. We have to play the best we can. And tonight, I want to say we just brought our B game tonight. It wasn't bad. I mean, 34%, 45% from the floor, 35%. I mean, that's not a bad showing. That's not horrible. I mean, we only shot 50% from the free throw, but we only took 6 shots. I mean, if anything, we just didn't get to the free throw enough.
Yeah. Hey, hold that thought. Coach is on. Let me pass it over, and then I'll bring it back to you. Maybe? Is the audio not working? This is weird. What the heck's going on here? Well, maybe not. Hang on. Let me see if I can refresh this. Usually it works with no problem. Let's see if I can bring it over to this one. Come on, baby. I feel like I'm overworking my computer right now because I have GarageBand running. I've got OBS running. I've got the stream running.
You need like a whole technical team behind you to make this work.
Dude, yeah,
You need a production team.
It's not working. Well, I tried to see if it would let me like stream the game in a little window because it'd be fun to do like a live stream. Yeah, it's not working with Coach. But let me see if there's one other thing. I've got one other idea. Audio input capture. I need to mess around with this OBS more. Well, we're not going to be able to hear from Coach, which I know is going to really bum some people out. But it looks like he's talking. He's moving his head like normal. His lips are moving. So it looks like he's still alive. Not too upset. I mean, maybe it'd be fun to do like a Mad Lib reading. No, but it won't. It won't show up on the YouTube end, which I thought would have been cool. But anyways, keep going, Kevin.
Anyways, what I was gonna say, when we beat New Orleans, we had the first night we had a really awesome showing from Beasley. He showed up, just balled out, and then the next night, and Vanderbilt, we had two players just absolutely play two of their best games of the season, and then when we beat them the second time, we had Clarkston. Put in one of his best games of the season. And so for us to beat these type of teams, we have to have someone put in just a really phenomenal performance. We can't show up and just have a really good performance across the board. And we had some really good performances. We didn't have anything great. Beasley had a great performance. Nah had a great performance. I thought Clarkston was great tonight. Conley, I think, was MIA tonight. Vanderbilt, I didn't even know if he played tonight.
Dude.
Markkanen was what I expect him every single night. I mean, he couldn't get a rebound to save his life, but, that was the only thing he struggled. I mean, as a whole, I think this is more what we're expected to do a rebound. But, I mean, I think the team played great tonight. We just played a better team. And this is what I expect from us when we play a better team, if we're not going to have those really awesome, amazing, one-off. No, I don't even say one-offs. Just those really great nights from our players that we know that they can do, which is, I think, is what has made this season so special and so awesome, is that we have on more than one occasions had Markkanen go off, had Clarkston go off, had Beasley go off, had Vanderbilt come out of nowhere like he's a freaking all-star. Like, we've had these nights where our players have just shown up, and it's been awesome to see what these players can do on any given night when they bring their A-plus game. So, we have the potential to play with any team in the NBA when we bring our A-plus game. And so that is, that's awesome. I don't know that when you look at some of the bottom, the bottom 6, bottom 8 teams, I don't know that some of them can say that. Like, I don't know that Houston can say that. I don't know that Oklahoma can say that. I don't know that Detroit can say that. I don't know that the New York Knicks can say that. Like, if their top players have their best game, that they can beat the best of the best. So, I mean, that's something to hang our hat on.
Yeah, I definitely think I totally agree with you. Like, it was a good game. It just felt like it wasn't one that we were dying to win. I mean, that's the first time that Coach puts in, throws the towel in with 7 minutes left. I almost wonder if he's looking forward to the Cleveland matchup with Donovan Mitchell and wanting to win that one more. I think that one might mean a little bit more to the guys and wanting to win that one. But we look at the stats here. Vanderbilt had 6 rebounds. He led the team with rebounds, and if you're Bobby Portis has 14. So your leading rebounder only has 6 rebounds. It's rough. And then points, Malik Beasley was probably our best scorer, most efficient tonight, went 6 for 10 from the 3-point line. And Bobby Portis led them. But the points in the paint, we got outscored by 12. Second chance points, they had 21, we had 14. And then the really big one, because I believe we had the same amount of turnovers. Yeah, we both had 14 turnovers. We only had 2 fast break points, and they had 9. So the other thing that made me think that we just kind of looked tired is we didn't get to the line. I believe we only shot 4 free throws. So it's just a game that wasn't terrible, I guess you could say. Obviously, it might be the worst one. It'd be interesting to see, in a series how we could hang with these guys. And also, I don't think it's as important of a game against an East Coast team. It's not going to affect the standings at the end of the season like the New Orleans Pelicans would. Dallin, what is up, bro? I am glad you are here. We are streaming live on YouTube, baby. And why don't you request so you can talk? Let me see. There was a way on this to see if there's anybody chatting from YouTube, but I doubt it since we're not that established over there. Start replay buffer. I want to try this. This OBS is really cool to mess around with. Have you ever used it, Kevin?
No, I haven't. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it's sweet. I probably.
It's so weird. It's so weird to watch the YouTube and talk with you on the Twitter because there's a massive delay. Like a minute delay. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I put it that way. I don't know why. I think that's a default on there. You can actually make it so there's no buffer at all, but there's a way that you can do replays. This really is for video gamers. And so if they have a cool moment in the game, they can stop and hit, capture that replay of the last 60 seconds or something. But I just did one to see. So the shot chart, this NBA.com really has some cool stuff. If you look at this chart here, the lead tracker, I mean, we led 3 times, but it's just totally green as far as the Milwaukee Bucks go. Longest run, 13, times tied, 5, lead changes 6. And then these shot charts are really cool, which if you unselect every player. Come on, Markkanen. See, everything's just running slow. It'd be sweet. I know that my brother does a pull and packs where he has his buddies on the live stream with him. It'd be sweet to do that with you guys and then just take the listeners off on Twitter. Let me see. Come on. I'm going to refresh this page. Can you see this, Kevin, on your end?
I mean, I can, but because of the delay, it's kind of weird. I can't line it up, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Maybe next time I'll take out the delay and see how much we can get it synced up. Oh,
because I'd love to give some cool analysis to what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, it'll be cool if we start gaining a YouTube following to be able to dive into this stuff a little bit more, because it's really hard trying to do the Twitter spaces on one end and the other stuff on this end. Maybe I could just have you and Dallin take over the Twitter spaces as co-hosts. I'll freaking strap my thing to my microphone, my phone, and then I can run this. Yeah, it's running so slow. It's got to just be eating up. Let me try this. Markkanen. Oh, I'm gonna stop the stream. That'll probably help since we can't listen to it. Yeah. So, man, when you look at the shot chart, we take so many threes. We just take so many threes. And if you go to Beasley's, his looks pretty good, but I mean, he only shot 2 within the 3-point line. So Holly Rowe and Bowler Jack talked tonight about how he wants to be more than a 3-point shooter, but man, he lives on that 3-point line, and he actually, there's the coolest stat that I found on NBA.com. Per 48 minutes, he is the only person in front of him right now with made threes is Stephen Curry. And then I believe it was Klay Thompson. So when you put him in that category, does Beasley just need more minutes so that he can shoot more, or what do you think?
I'm not sure which stat you're making because he's not up there in total threes. And when you look at it as at per 36, he's like 5th or 6th. He's like 5th. And oddly enough, number 5 per 36 is Mr. Niang. So Klay and Steph are up there, and then I forget who else is up there. So per 36, he's 5th at like 5 or 6 a game, and so he's putting up some good volume in threes.
Can he be as good of a shooter as Klay and Steph, where it's like he's that dangerous? Because it feels like every time he comes off a screen, I think that's his best shot, is coming off of a screen and then getting past, and he takes 1 dribble or 0 dribbles and then shoots. What do you think?
Yeah, that's the thing is like Klay maybe. I mean, I don't think he can be as good of a shooter as Klay. I think Klay is just a pure shooter, and I just think guys like Klay come along once in a lifetime. I don't think anyone's going to be like him, but I do think his game is very similar to Klay's in that he's just going to take that. He's not going to dribble into it. He just wants to catch it and shoot it. And I think it's very similar. And I think if he can be that kind of player and he's shooting with accuracy right now, that he can do that. And I think he needs to pattern his game after that. I think he just needs to continue to take that shot. I think he needs to be okay with being that 3 guy. Like, don't concern himself with taking 2-pointers.
Yeah.
Just take the 3. Like, take 10 to 12 3-pointers a game. And if you make 8 to 9, great. If you make 6 to 7, great. If you make 3, great. Like, don't be afraid to take 12 threes a game. Like, if you're shooting 40%, take 12 a game. Don't think you have to take it to the basket. Like, if you're hitting 40% a game like you are and you're that catch and shoot guy, you have to realize what you're doing for your team and the space that you're giving your team. Like, trying to take it in the middle, you're making it harder for the rest of your team by trying to be that player that wants to take it in the middle. So just be who you are and understand your position. Unless he wants to be the complete player and he wants to be that all-star, superstar kind of guy, and, you know, he's young enough that he may still be trying to do. I mean, he's making $15 million a year. Maybe he wants to get that $30 million a year payday. And in order to get there, he needs to be able to take the ball to the hoop. He needs to be able to hit that 15-foot curl. That's what he needs to be able to do to get to the $30, $35 million a year. But if he wants to be a really strong role player on a championship team, make those threes, shoot 10 to 12 a game. He just has to decide what he wants to be, and it is a point in career. But my guess is he's probably still trying to play for that big payday. And honestly, I say go for it. He deserves it. He has every right in this world to try to develop his game to be that guy and get that payday. But for our purposes, I'd love to see him just be the role player. But I think for him and his career, he should probably shoot to maximize his money. But that's up to him what he wants to do.
Yeah, I definitely think he's talented enough, especially both sides of the ball. I don't think he's a terrible defender. I actually think he's an above average defender, especially when he wants to be. He can be, I don't know if you would call him an elite defender, but you could trust him to put him on one of the better players. He he shoots really efficiently, I feel like, on the good nights, and then on the bad nights, if he's not hitting, that's what I feel like will help him evolve into a different player, when he'll be able to realize, okay, this isn't my shot, or this isn't my night from the 3-point line, so I'm going to take it in, or I'm going to focus on defense tonight, or just, being a decoy and faking the shot and then passing it off. I think that's something that Klay Thompson and Steph Curry have really learned throughout their career. I'm looking at Bobby Portis's shot chart, and if you remember years ago, the Jazz were actually trying to get Bobby Portis. He was an intricate piece in their championship when they won, and his shot chart just looks like he can score just from tonight, that he can score all over the floor. I mean, he's got one from the elbow, free throw line, short corner, corner three, right hand three, underneath the basket, left hand side. He's got 3 shots. He's impressive. He's an impressive player, and really one of those energy guys, once he gets going, might be playing beyond his abilities, but it helps your team a ton. And I think these guys picked up some really good players in Bobby Portis, and then they've got Serge Ibaka, which did Serge play that much tonight?
No, he didn't. I didn't hardly see him on the floor at all. Was he even on the floor?
I don't know, but I feel like in the playoffs, if you need a big guy or matchup guy, he's someone that could really help them. The other guy I want to talk about, not on our team, but used to play for us, is Grayson Allen. We drafted him, and he went 6 for 9 tonight, had 1 3-pointer, 1 missed 3-pointer, but the rest was in the lane. And
I don't want to talk about Grayson Allen.
Well, the reason I bring it up is, do you feel like we gave up on him too soon?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When they traded him, I think it was even you I was talking to. I was pissed.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I know that he has the image that potentially doesn't fit with the Utah Jazz, but I knew that when they traded him, they were going to regret it, because the boy can play. And honestly, they need someone who is a little rough around the edges, who can be a tough player. And he can play ball.
Yeah, he can. And
he was so mad when they traded him.
He was in the Mike Conley trade, right, with Jay Crowder?
Yeah. Everyone said, well, he was just thrown in to make the money match. I think he was thrown in because he wasn't a cultural fit for them.
I do too.
And I just that whole situation really frustrated me, because I really liked him, and I'm like, you knew when you drafted him he wasn't a cultural fit, you shouldn't have drafted him.
Well, I think they took a chance on him, and when we drafted him, I remember screaming when we drafted him, yes, because I felt like he was realistic for us to draft, because other teams were going to pass on him because of his tripping incidences.
Yeah.
And I hate that that's attached to him, but he's an efficient shooter. He can drive, take contact, still finish. He's big, long body. He can defend. He's a gritty, dirty player that'll go in and rebound. And I know a lot of people will probably argue, well, we got Mike Conley for him, but this is, looking at it now, he's a perfect young piece that could fit into this team. I also thought it was a huge mistake that we got rid of Jay Crowder as well, because when we had Jay Crowder, Rubio, man, that was probably the most fun I've had in the last few years, especially with a Donovan Mitchell team. I think that was the best team that we had with Donovan.
Dallin's not on here, but I think we and Dallin were texting back and forth, and I said that I still think I would say that the Conley trade is the worst trade we've had, but we've had so many from the last front office, it's hard to rank them all. I'm not a fan of the Conley trade, just because of what we gave up, and then being stuck with his contract and just the unfavorable contract there. I I don't know. I don't think we did well with the Conley trade. I think we're gonna. I look back at it as a mistake. Personally.
Yeah, and I think right now a lot of people are probably so high on Conley that they wouldn't say that, but the contract that came along with Conley was a mistake, but then the other mistake was re-signing him for as much as we did. There had to be something better.
Well, but we were forced to. We didn't have a choice. If we wanted to continue to push, there was nothing else on the market. We weren't going to get anybody at his caliber. Like, we didn't have a choice. We had to sign him. It was an all or nothing. Like, we were kind of in a shizzy situation.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just the whole. I think we could have done better if we would have just stuck with Rubio.
Yeah, I think everybody really liked Rubio. The knock was was on his offense, but he didn't give up as much defensively as Conley, not at all. So, you can weigh it either way. I just had more fun
watching. Was his offense that bad?
I don't think so, but yeah, I think a lot of Jazz fans felt like it was, and probably were too hard on him. I guess
it was bad from the.
Like if he had a wide open 3-point shot, his shot wasn't pretty, and you weren't always sure if it was going to go in. I don't think he shot that bad of a percentage though.
But I don't know. I guess for me, Rubio was always a facilitator, never a shot maker, and I guess that didn't really fit in Quinn's offense because Quinn was. If you couldn't shoot and drill a three, you had no business being on his team. Which I don't know. I was never a big fan of that portion of his offense, anyways, because there's value in someone who can hit a shot, who can move the ball, and he can move the ball effectively enough to get somebody open. So.
Yeah, and. That team was just fun to me because maybe we weren't the best offensively, but they were able to stop teams, and that's almost more fun to me than scoring a bunch of points, is being able to take the highest offense in the league and totally affect them with your defense, because it takes a lot of skill to become a good scorer, but a lot of times when you're playing good defense, it just takes effort and a want to actually play well. I'm looking at a cool stat right now. This is all season segments per game, regular season for this season. This is games played. So obviously people have missed games already. But we've got 3 players that haven't missed a game. And there's only... Oh, sorry. 2 players that haven't missed a game. There's only 3 players in the entire league that haven't missed a game, and then 1 that's only missed 1 game. So Kelly Olynyk, Malik Beasley have not missed a game. They have played all 32 games. Jordan Clarkson has played 31. I can't remember when Clarkson was out. Was he sick?
He sat out that one game. I remember because he was on the broadcast and everything.
Yeah. Did he tweak his... Or maybe we sat out a bunch of guys to just give him rest. It might have been on a back-to-back or something. The other one that has not missed a game is Nicholas Batum. And then you go down...
We must not have played that team yet because everyone who plays us sits their people.
Yeah. Yeah. Bojan has only missed 2 games. I miss him. Vanderbilt's only missed 2 games. He's another one on ours. And then looks like that's about it. But kind of a cool stat. So the stat that I was looking at, let me see where per game, per 48 minutes, all season segments, and then we're going to go 3-point, not percentage, 3 points made. Where are you, little guy? 3 field goals made. Oh, there's assisted and unassisted. We just want to go 3 field goals. Where the heck? I want to see where Malik is because I don't know. What are you on NBA.com looking at where he was like 6th?
No, so I look at let me pull it up here. Let me jump on my computer.
3.
And see where I look to see I like NBA stats is good, but when I'm looking for like stats, I like Basketball Reference.
Oh yeah, I like that website too. This looks different than when I had it the other night. Advanced. Oh my gosh, this could get so granular, man.
Hey Dallin, feel free to jump off mute and just jump in here.
Yeah, Dallin.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. What are you doing?
I think Beasley was second. What they were hitting on was he was second in 3-pointers made.
Yeah.
No, he
Behind
wasn't.
Steph Curry.
Yeah, and now Simmons is.
Ben Simmons?
No, Anthony Simmons.
Oh, Simons?
Simons. Yep.
I was like, Ben Simmons? When did he start going off on 3?
Simons.
Percent
Portland kid.
of 3-pointers. Come on, man. I want to find this.
Yeah, Steph is so much further ahead than any of them. It's insane. It's like John Stockton's stats.
Yeah, it seriously is. This is not what I'm looking for though.
So Rubio, his first season with us, he shot 35% from 3, and he shot about 3.5 per game.
Yeah, see, I don't know. Okay, that must be an old stat because he's 5th now. You got Buddy Hield is 2nd, Simmons is 3rd, Mitchell is 4th, and then Beasley. So that must have been a pretty old stat. And the other thing it's too is like Malik has played the most games.
The most games out of
all of them.
All of them.
So like
He's played every game.
So he's played 31 games to get 103. Mitchell's got 105 and 26. Simmons has 106 and 27. Buddy Hield has 108 and 30, and Steph has 131 and 26.
Wow. Yeah, whatever I was looking at it, I just thought it was impressive that Malik was in that conversation with them. And it would be interesting.
Catch and shoot, he's 5th. 3-pointers attempted.
Yeah, so if you look at his per 36, he's 4th. Behind. So
can you
Steph
look at
Curry,
per 48 on that?
No, you can do per 36, which is the standard. Most people don't do per 48 anymore. So you do per 30. When you do minutes, it's a per 36 or per 100 possessions. Is kind of the stat that they do right now. Is the pretty standard stat. So your per 36, you've got Steph is hitting 5.3, and then Isaiah Joe from Oklahoma.
Isaiah Joe.
He's doing 5.2, but I don't even know how many minutes this cat's playing. Yeah, that's a blown out because he's only got 230 minutes total. And then the next person is Bones Hillen from Denver. He's got low minutes. So really, he's second. Yeah, Highland. So really, he's second. He's tied with Clay. So if you throw out the two, like, kind of like people who are, I would say, aren't qualified because they don't play a ton of minutes, it goes Steph, and then he's tied with Clay at 4.4 per 36.
Yeah, because there was something else in there. I believe you had to play 15 minutes per game because I'm looking at it right now. 3-pointers made. This is per 48 regular season.
Okay.
And Trevor Hudgens, Ron Harper Jr. says, I mean, these have got to be guys that got in for a few seconds and like hit one shot.
Jordan Ron Harper Jr. I didn't even know that he had a son that played. Wow.
I mean, are these current players? What the hell's going on? Yeah, season 2022. Yeah. So yeah, on this one, Malik's all the way down at 13.
Yeah, but these are
Steph Curry's at 6. So
who aren't even averaging because like this Isaiah Joe, like he's played 22 games and he's got 230 minutes, so he's averaging 10 minutes a game. And Bones has played 20 games, and he's got 400 minutes. So neither one of them would have qualified. So it goes Steph, then Malik, and Clay. So he's up there with those two. So that's pretty legit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember Dallin saying in one of the podcasts, like, I just want, or maybe it was Tevin, I think it was you, Dallin, where it's like when Malik gets the ball, I just want him to shoot it. He's got such a pure shot. The one thing that I wish he would get better at is not taking contested threes. He seems to do that, and they seem to never go in. If he could just learn a pump fake or drive past him and then go to the hoop, man, I think he could be a really incredible player.
I think if we ran screens for him, and because his catch and shoot is amazing, I don't know necessarily if his creating a three-point shot is my favorite idea for him. I like him driving to the basket, so I don't know. I would say if we 10 to 12 threes, if we ran him off picks, he would hit those for like at least probably 40-50% of the time.
I would say 40.
Yeah.
40% of the time. I don't know if he's a 50%er, but I do like the idea of him taking 10 to 12 played like setup shots. Like, I don't want him creating. I don't like the look of his shot when he tries to create it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. He turns into Taylor Horton Tucker at that point to me.
Yeah. Well, and it was nice.
He tries to fade away. Like, it's not a straight up shot. It's like almost a fadeaway. Yeah. It's not a true fadeaway, but it's like.
It seems like that's what Taylor's is too. It's just always like fading away.
Looks like there's a close game in in Phoenix right now. Milwaukee and Phoenix are going at it. Phoenix is up by 2 points with 7 minutes left.
Milwaukee and Phoenix? I thought
Sorry, New Orleans Pelicans and Phoenix.
That's crazy because Phoenix was just down like almost 20.
Wow.
They're now back.
Dude, did you guys see? I didn't even know that there was an NFL game today. Did you see the comeback by the Minnesota Vikings? They were down 33 points.
I didn't watch it.
Dude, it was the largest comeback in NFL history.
Yeah, and leave it to Matt Ryan to be the quarterback. Beat at the halftime.
Well, I was struggling on who to start on my fantasy team. Kenneth Walker III, which I ended up, he scored like 7.9 points from Seattle. Or what's Green Bay's running back that's coming back? Aaron Jones. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm hoping Aaron Jones doesn't just blow up. But back to NBA, LA Clippers beat the Washington Wizards. There was some posts going around about Kawhi Leonard being back in his form, his MVP form. Is he going to be dominant, and are the Clippers going to be good?
If he gets to his form, I think they're NBA champion, like, not favorites, but up there. Like, him and George together, tell me a better defensive 1-2.
Yeah. He led the Clippers today too. Like, Paul George didn't even play.
That's a scary team that might just surprise us, and I'm always scared of Kawhi. He's been one of my favorite players since I can ever remember. But looking at these scores around the league, it looks like Cleveland barely eked out a win against Dallas in overtime by 1 point, and I know that Doncic was out tonight. I don't know why. So hopefully we get Cleveland on Monday a little bit tired. I believe it's in Cleveland. Let's see if this one was in Dallas, though. If Cleveland has to travel, that would really be...
No, it was in Cleveland.
Yeah, okay.
Donovan had 25 points, but he was -4 plus minus.
But Donovan's a career negative guy, almost like.
Yeah, because he takes so many shots.
He was 1 for 9 from 3-point land. Good Lord.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, Donovan if Donovan doesn't score 40 against us, I'll be surprised. He's gonna go.
Yeah, he is.
And
yeah.
honestly, I think that's
gonna put up 30 shots.
why we have an advantage and why we win, because he will. And depending if he's on fire or just, average, he could be a complete ball hog and make them lose the game.
But you know what? If their team is on board and they feed him the ball, we won't even be close. The only time
I've seen when he goes cold, he's cold for a few games though. Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only time I've seen that team struggle is when they are fighting for the ball. When they feed him the ball and they just let him do his thing, like, they are nasty.
I feel like him and Garland are kind of competing against each other, which might be hurting them. I don't know. I haven't watched him enough.
That was without Doncic. Kemba Walker led the Mavericks.
I know
Kemba?
Holy
yeah.
Kemba?
He had
Kemba
32
32.
points. Yeah. And 7 assists.
Wow. All right, Kemba.
And they put Wood back in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
See, that would have been sweet if we would have been able to
too.
trade Mike Conley for something and then sign Kemba, because remember when Kemba was a free agent and was he a free agent and we were trying to get him so bad and we ended up not getting Kemba?
Because we couldn't move Conley's
right before
contract.
Conley? Yeah.
Yeah.
That right before Conley?
Yeah. I think he's too undersized to be your point guard
We couldn't
defensively,
but we couldn't put him next to Donovan. So that's why we stuck with Conley. So
well, Memphis loses again tonight to Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City lost, was it yesterday? Close game. It was.
Did you before you move too far? Did you happen to see how many points were scored in overtime in that Cleveland Dallas game?
No, what?
No.
2?
Well, there's only 199, so.
Overtime, 3 points for Dallas, 4 for Cleveland.
It must have been tired. What the heck?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, they can only manage 7 points in overtime. Also, did you know Mobley was 30 already?
No.
Really?
What?
Is he an
Mobley was
old
like-
Aussie or something?
I thought Mobley was like 27 still. Anyways,
I
sorry,
did
go
too.
on to your scoreboard. I didn't mean to distract you, but I was like,
No.
I didn't realize he was 30 already. I think he was still just a baby.
Oh, and speaking of players, Giddey, that was a good call out. I haven't watched him before, but he's a good, nice little player for OKC.
Dude, I loved him. I loved him.
Love me some Giddy. I don't know. I still don't get Giddy. I don't know. I just don't get it.
He reminds me of a lot of Joe Ingles' game.
I haven't watched him enough, but it's just like the small amount that I have, I don't get it. There was also some.
Well, the problem is Giddey doesn't have a position yet because of what's his bucket? The other.
They play 3 shooting guards. I mean, they consider him a shooting guard.
I think Giddey could be a point guard if Gilchrist isn't there. Like, and that's I think Giddey is more of a point guard than a shooting guard. Like, and I think that's why they've talked about moving Gilchrist.
Possibly.
Is because Giddey would. Then you'd have like a 6'9" freaking point guard.
Yeah, and I think that's
Luka
kind of
Doncic,
everyone's trying to emulate Luka and have a bigger point guard, which is honestly pretty smart if they can handle it. Looking at the standings real quick, I believe these are up to date. Yes. So Jazz are now in 8th place. Clippers move ahead of us. I believe they were ahead of us anyways. So it goes Memphis Grizzlies, who lost. New Orleans Pelicans lost 2. Denver Nuggets, Phoenix Suns, Sacramento Kings, Portland Trailblazers, Clippers, Jazz, Dallas, Minnesota. Oh, Minnesota. That's who Oklahoma almost beat last night.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
I
I remember going through this with everyone on here. Obviously, no one's on here probably because it was a blowout and it's a Saturday night and Christmas is around the corner. I know I was at a Christmas party, but if we were to match up with a team, let's just say we make a first round playoffs, What team would you want to play the most that is ahead of us? Like that would favor the Jazz as far as matchups go. You got the Grizzlies, New Orleans Pelicans, Denver Nuggets, Phoenix Suns, Sacramento Kings, Portland Trailblazers, and the Clippers.
Pelicans.
Let's go.
Pelicans. We beat them 3 times. It's a no-brainer.
Okay, who would you least want to face?
Oh, I don't know. Denver? No.
I'm gonna go Phoenix. Because
Memphis. That's who I would want to face.
You'd want to face the least?
I'm gonna have to say
Memphis.
I'm torn between Denver and Phoenix, but yeah.
I feel like Denver is what we were last year. I'm not scared of Denver at all for some reason.
I just feel like they're very deep.
Here's the thing. I see this every year. Jokic, cruise control through the regular season.
Yeah.
And then come playoff, he's a different guy.
And Murray is starting to hit his stride again too. But like Dallin said,
Murray, but Jokic he's so smart. He understands the importance of not running his body into the ground during the regular season. So he controls through the regular season, and then during the postseason, he just turns it up. So
we got a Vikings fan in here too. She can give us her outlook on that game.
Vikings. Hey, Christina. If you want to speak, go ahead. Kevin, you're a co-host, so I'm not paying attention. So if you'll pay attention, but I'm scared of the veterans, to be honest. Like you said, Kevin, Jokic does scare me. If there's any reason for the Nuggets to beat us, it would totally be Jokic, obviously. But then Phoenix with Booker and Chris Paul, I just feel like Chris Paul would just eat Kessler alive, or these young guys just pick it apart.
Healthy.
If he's healthy, true.
Chris Paul, I worry about staying healthy. Jokic, I don't.
And then Portland scares me just for the fact they've got Lillard, and they seem to be playing well at a stretch during the season. And Clippers scare me too with Kawhi. So really the ones that I'd rather play, which are the Memphis Grizzlies, New Orleans Pelicans are 1 and 2 right now, but also the Sacramento Kings. I think they're on a hot streak right now, but I also think we would have a better chance against these teams that have youth and not these veterans that could totally make you pay for every single mistake.
I agree. I don't know. I just think when everything shakes out, I just don't think we're going to be above the line.
Looking at this would be really fun. Is if we matched up with the Minnesota Timberwolves in a play-in game and just counted that as a first round win so that Kevin can take us all to dinner.
I already said that doesn't count. I already said it doesn't.
No, but that, in all seriousness, that would be fun to play in a play-in game against the
Golden State Warriors.
I'm more worried about getting stuck having to have a play-in game against the healthy Golden State or Lakers.
Oh yeah. Well, they're not very far behind us. They are. Golden State is 11, Lakers are 12, but Anthony Davis just went down. I don't think the Lakers are going to be able to figure it out.
I hope they do. For the sake of the league, they have to figure it out.
I hope for our pig's sake they do.
Yeah, I just hope. Yeah, exactly. But I hope that. I don't know what I hope. My hopes and dreams are gone.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now,
Is it because we got crushed by Milwaukee without Giannis and Middleton?
Yeah, I this game doesn't hold a ton of weight for me, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't know. It just didn't. It didn't feel like we played terrible. Didn't feel like we played great. I feel like Milwaukee probably played really good without Giannis. They're in the Eastern Conference. It's just one of those games where it's like, yeah, now maybe had we lost one of those Pelican games or both of those Pelican games, it would hold more weight. But I think we just put on such a show with with beating the Pelicans that I'm okay with this loss.
I'm just waiting for this moment. After all we've talked about Dallin the other night in our solo podcast, we had Exum, who was really awesome. I enjoyed.
The Exum Index, he was good.
The Exum Index. I'm just waiting for this. Like, we make a couple trades. We end up sliding down, and we end up going in the lottery in like the eighth spot, right? And then we win the lotto, and we end up with like the 4 pick, right?
And we trade out for 2024.
And then Danny H trades the 4 pick for like 4 picks.
If that happens, I will call for his head.
No way! I will laugh so hard because
Dude.
Jazz Nation will be so excited.
They will lose their shit, dude.
I will laugh so hard. We'll have the number 4 pick, and then he will trade it for like 2004 picks.
Dude, don't say that. No.
2006.
We can't. The Jazz fans can't be that thick. There's no way. There's no way. I can't even believe you guys would put that out in the universe.
That's Danny Ainge for you. Like, he would take the value
No.
of a 4 pick and turn it into 4 first-round picks.
He did it with Tatum, man, and Brown.
Like, can you imagine if Amen Thompson slid to 4 and somebody desperate just freaking mortgaged the farm for him?
Oh my gosh, I don't want to even think about it.
Honestly, outside like Wemby or Scoot, like in my mind, there is nobody in this draft who is worth 3 first-round draft picks. So if somebody comes in and mortgages 4 first-round draft picks, you have to take it.
Yeah, you have to, but oh my gosh.
And you missed the chat the other night.
Well, what was it? Where was I?
This was pregame.
We missed the pregame where we talked about. Yeah. So I was in the car listening to satellite radio, and it was this East Coast talk show, and they were talking about how everybody is talking about the Utah Jazz and how they have all these draft picks. And this
sure.
Was talking about how he thinks it's so overrated and so blown out of proportion because the Jazz have all these picks, but they're over 7 years. And he talked about Oklahoma City and Houston and the old 76ers, and even to a certain extent the Orlando Magic. All their picks were over 4 years or even like 5 years, and they're all compact. The majority of the picks were over 4 years.
Yeah, I saw a draft with Orlando picking Wemby and then one of the Thompson twins.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? And then they've already got what's his name? The rookie that's gonna win Rookie of the Year, Boncho or.
But the point he was trying to make is
and
the
subs.
Jazz, they've got 3 picks this year, right? And if they use all 3 of their picks this year and they get some decent guys, they could be good enough next year to not be in the bottom 10. And then they have 0 picks in 2004, which kind of stalls the rebuild unless they can pack. And then that kind of puts them in a situation where...
Where were these guys talking from? Like the East Coast or what?
East Coast somewhere. I don't know. I came in midway through, so I don't know what team they were from or who they were representing or
probably the Knicks. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't sound like Knicks fans because Knicks fans like to mention the fact that they're Knicks fans every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Usually. And this,
NYC, we're our own brand.
They honestly sounded more like they were like Sixers, maybe, or something like that.
Oh yeah, the 2 worst fan bases in the league.
But they were talking about that, and so they were saying that what they thought that Danny may be doing is Danny may understand that he has this gap in there with this 2004 gap, and he may be letting the team excel right now to build this value up so that he can move it for more assets, and just understand that he can't go all in this year because he could get really good and not be able to rebuild the team fast enough to keep whoever he gets in this 2023 draft and lose them because the team's not good enough, and just pass on these players that are in this draft.
Oh my gosh, I don't want that to happen. We've got to get someone from this draft, man.
Yes, but we'll get one person. But
yeah,
he may trade out of the other two picks,
yeah,
so that he can compact the draft a little bit, and then be able to draft 2 in 2024, and then we'll have another 3 in 2025. We got the pick swaps in 26, and so you're able to build and have that momentum instead of getting 3 this year and kind of losing that momentum.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know if that's the case. I don't know, but it kind of made sense, and we talked a little bit about it, me and Dallin did, and we kind of talked through it, and how, like, I don't know if getting 3 young, talented people this year makes as much sense as getting 1 in maybe the mid-round, and if we have a high pick, letting someone chase after it and overpay for it, you know? I don't know if I trade the 4, but if someone wants to trade up into, like, the 8 or the 9 and give us 2-3 picks for a later, for like a 2004 or whatnot, like, let them. And then we're bad next year in 2004. Keep our 2004 pick out of Oklahoma's hands, and then potentially have 2 lottery picks in supposedly one of the deepest drafts in NBA history, which is going to be the 2024 draft, where it's supposed to be like basically lottery level players through 26.
Wow.
In 2024, because you have what your normal, so you're going to have what your normal lottery is going to be, plus all your high schoolers are going to be in there too, because they're lifting the high school band.
Oh, so that's probably what Danny's focused on. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so the 2024 draft is supposed to be really, really deep. So if you could come into the 2024 draft with like 4 picks, even if those 4 picks were top 25,
yeah,
you could technically walk out with 4 lottery level picks.
Well, that's a cool thing to think about. I saw your tweet too, where you like wanted to break down the 2024 picks, and I kind of want to start doing it as well. But it really comes down to, I don't think anybody knows what Danny is gonna do besides Danny.
I don't think Danny knows what Danny's going to do right now, because no one's offered him anything he wants yet.
He's like, I'm just letting everything unfold, and then when I see a moment, I strike.
Danny's sitting at home laughing because he's like, no one knows I got freaking diagnosed with Alzheimer's 2 years ago. I don't remember what happened yesterday.
Utah ass, what's up? You gonna talk, bro?
Oh, he was here earlier and requested, and then he left.
I didn't catch it in time before he left. He's like, I don't want anything to do with
I'm waiting for this. Well, I'm about to end it, unless you guys want to speak, Christina or Utah as.
Way bounced, just like that.
I'm looking at the schedule. We've got 2 more games on the road, but we've also got a back-to-back coming up in those 2 games. This is just nuts, our back-to-back, man. We have another one before January. We've got Sacramento and Miami back-to-back. So that will be, what, 9 and 10? It's just...
I'm telling you, don't piss the commissioner off.
Dude, it's insane. It really does feel like we've pissed the league off somehow, because with all these stars sitting out and these back-to-backs, it's yeah. Anyway, so we go to Cleveland. I think we win that game. Then we go to Detroit. Is that Tuesday, the 20th? Yeah.
We better win in Detroit.
We got to get one of those. We got to get one of them. And I honestly think that the Cleveland one is more important for our fan base and for our current players. And with all the stuff that Donovan's been saying, like, that's one I just really want to win. And I think that most of us would feel that way.
I don't know. It's a tough one for me because
We've already beat Detroit, right? Or have they? No, we lost to Detroit.
we did lose to
at
Detroit.
home.
Bogey destroyed us.
Oh, I see. I'm more okay losing to Bogey than I am Donovan. I just want to take it to him, man. And I also want him to have like a really, really good game and lose against us.
I want to see him have a 50-point game, and I don't care if we win or lose because I just love Donovan, and I just want to see him go out and see a vintage Donovan. Like, I want to see him play, and I know that he said a bunch of crap and whatnot, and I don't know. In my mind, I know that's not Donovan. He's just listening to his people, and he's trying to market himself, and I just try to pretend that I remember the Donovan who was the rookie who didn't get all caught up in that hype and whatnot, and maybe that's not who he is anymore, but I know that everything he says, he's just regurgitating what people tell him to say, and it happens to every young kid, and it sucks, and it's stupid, and
yeah, see, and I'm more, I don't like to think about his rookie season because that was his best season with the Jazz. And, yeah, I agree that he is a media darling and will say whatever is the right thing to say. That, for some reason, kind of rubs me the wrong way. Like, I'd rather you just be like Kawhi Leonard and not say much at all. But, I don't hate him by any means. I think the time that he spent here in Utah was fantastic and entertaining, but just for the pure competitiveness of me and being a Utah Jazz fan, like, I want us to win this one. I believe we play him, one more time so we play him again January 10th in Utah, and then I think that's it. So we've only got 2 chances to beat him. And I'd really love to beat him on the road, and then I'd love to win both of them. But I would just.
I'm okay with losing in Cleveland. I don't want to lose at home, and I'm just afraid if we beat him in Cleveland, that he'll just come and destroy us in Salt Lake as a vengeance game for embarrassing him in front of his new fans. Because that is who Donovan is. Like, if we go into Cleveland and make him look stupid in front of his new fans, he will come and drop 60 on us in Salt Lake because that's who he is. Yeah. And I don't want that to happen. So I would rather let him have his moment in Cleveland and then let him come to Utah and, we beat him in Utah, because if we embarrass him in Cleveland, he will make us pay in Utah.
He will make you pay.
Because he's a spiteful little kid.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's why I want to be spiteful bags just a little bit. But yeah, it definitely could happen. I totally agree. I could see us beating him this game, and then him like dropping a career high 70. It'd be like a Kobe night. It'd be a Kobe night. The
15 threes.
Yeah.
Devin Booker has 54 right now in the third, I think.
Shoot, dang. Who's winning? Let me go back to that.
Phoenix, man, I can't believe they came back.
Booker nearing 60 points as Suns battle Pelicans. Dude, they're up by 5 with 18 seconds left. They won.
They were down 59 to 83.
Wow.
7-14 in the third.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool. Kemba had a good night.
They scored over 60 points this half. Well, I guess that happens.
Kemba, freaking Booker.
All right, well, I'm going to hop off. I need to spend some time with my wife, but I'm really excited about this YouTube. I hope that we can kind of get something figured out where it seems like the 3 of us are always here no matter what, where it'd be fun if we could all 3 get on this. Dude, I saw a New Orleans Pelicans, it was a YouTube video, and obviously they were in an online meeting almost, each one of them was in a different room, but they were somehow watching the game at the same time because it filmed their reaction of Zion's dunk that he had in the last seconds against Phoenix and just slammed it down, and they were all freaking out. But anyways, I want to try and figure out how to do that where not that we're broadcasting the game on YouTube, but just that we're able to talk while the game's going on, but all be watching it at the same time where there's not a lag or, some 2-second delay in between. So if you guys could get on that, that would be great. Thanks.
Okay. I'll invent that right now.
So I appreciate you guys for listening. Go like us, follow us, review us, trash talk us, whatever you want in the comments. And we'll see you guys next game against Cleveland, in Cleveland, taking on the one, the only, Spider Mitchell. See you guys.
Peace.
Go Jazz.
Go Jazz. Go Jazz.